on. People have been asking
They
for it
do.
for
They do need
years.
to edit
They
tweets.
do.
You can if you
Hey
pay for
everyone.
Twitter.
Who pays for Twitter?
And we are now live. Welcome everyone
Sorry,
to.
if you pay for Twitter, you're cool too.
Yeah, there you go. Capitalism. There you go. Yeah. Hey everyone. My name is D'Angelo Murillo. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Tonight we're going to do the second episode of the Emerald Templars campaign. Emerald Templars is a tabletop role-playing game, a dark fantasy tabletop role-playing game that I created and I'm still working on and creating. That went live on Kickstarter, got funded in 13 hours, and we're trying to do everything possible to make it as good as we can by inviting talented players here from the TTRPG space to be able to check it out and then see what works and what doesn't work. But so far they seem to like it, hopefully. And then yeah. So before we go any further, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and have everyone introduce themselves to honor the cast and everything. And I always do a rule on my channel that whenever you do introductions, you have to give it with your like full chest, bravado, like hype yourself up. You can't be like, ooh, woo, I don't really do anything. If you try your best, you will get it essentially like a healing potion tonight to be able to use to help recover your physical stress if you'd like to. And then if you try to be ooh-woo, then you'll immediately get anxiety stress as you bring it over to your character. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the very dreamy Lonzo Gonzo.
Oh, see, I was gonna try and like woo my way to like really sell this, but I'm not too sure of this move. But I'm still gonna commit to it. Ooh woo, Alonzo Gonzo, pronounce he him.
Anxiety.
Ooh,
There you go. Just go.
I'm a Latina variety TTRPG player. Ooh woo. I'll be playing Don Francisco, a risen necromancy. Ooh woo, and we're so happy to have you here, and I'm just really excited to pass this along to the next person. Ooh woo.
Perfect.
Why are we friends?
You chose this life.
That's a great point. Amir, our special guest, who is also dreamy, would you like to introduce yourselves? And yeah.
Hi, I'm Prince, also known as Dimples and Dice around the internet. That is where you can find me: Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz, except Facebook, because fuck that place. I'm a variety streamer / TTRPG streamer. I run several games of my own, including Wayward Revelry, a Wabi on the Witchlight campaign on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm a storyteller for Vampire the Masquerade over on Philly by Night. That is our all BIPOC group of TTRPG actual play performers who run awesome games. If you haven't seen us, do go check us out. It's one of my favorite things and the best thing that's probably happened to me in this space. And I am on a bunch of stuff and things. So if you're not following me on Twitter, get with the program. I'm dope. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pretty good at things. There's an upcoming campaign where C is also joining me in called... what is the name of the game now? It is not D&D. It is a Scum and Villainy / Dark Matter, Dark Corners of the Universe over on North by Northwest and over on my channel. That is coming soon. Keep a lookout. There's more stuff, but I can't name it all. Just check me out on Twitter.
Perfect. And then Janine.
Hello, I'm Janine, also known as Blips and Chits and or XJ9 on the internet, but you can find me on Twitter at Blips and Chits, where I have recently updated my pinned tweet. Yay me. But let me just read from that. Now, so on Saturdays you can find me over at it's been so long since I've done this. Playing an Arthurian inspired 5e D&D game over on Lore Everlasting, written by the amazing Stella Luna. Very excited about that one, even though we've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Regularly on Sundays, you can find me over at TPC, also playing another different homebrew 5e game that is long-running, very story-driven, it's a great game. And then on Tuesdays, not gonna lie, in practice, my favorite game that I've been playing lately, it's a game called, what's it called? The Blood We Spill, and it's basically a B horror 70s film, and it's super meta, and we've got 2 more episodes left, and the adventure is about to start. We might even go back in time, so come check that out over on 12 Sided Stories on Tuesdays. And then I will be here on a few more Sundays, which is also very exciting. Yay, that's what I do.
Perfect. That's amazing. And then, Joe, tell us about you and your amazing podcast.
I will only be telling you about my podcast. My name is Josephine. I'm at Scary Dog Friend, Twitter, TikTok. I'm a co-host of the incredibly blasphemous monster fucking podcast called Monster Fuckers Anonymous with my friend Cleric34. You're going to see some amazing guests coming up because we're coming out of our season break soon, so that will be fun. I'm a performer over at Starlight Tales, Roll for Luck, as well as Going Crit RPG, as well as here. And I'm also going to be running a Call of Cthulhu game on Going Crit RPG if you are interested.
Are applications still open?
Applications are still open. You have 5 days left, however. So definitely if you would like to see some more chaos, as not only me as a player in this game, but as a DM for a horror game, come check it out.
I would love to see that. Actually, I need to apply. Oh my god. So yeah. Okay. And then C. Last but not least, tell us about how amazing you are.
Oh my gosh. Hi everyone, my name's CA, use they them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at PieSharpArt. You can also find me on Saturdays at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time over on Transplanar RPG. If you don't know what it is yet, let me tell you, Transplanar is an all-transgender, person of color-led, 100% homebrew D&D 5th edition actual play livestream set in a non-colonial, anti-orientalist world. We have over 200 hours of content for you to catch up on. It's a podcast version. We're on YouTube. We're on basically anywhere that you can find us, so check us out there. We also have a written recap document, so if you just want to like read a one-page summary of everything that's happened in the campaign so far, so you can join us live on Saturdays, check that out and do it. And I am also in, there's a lot of time travel going on right now. We're playing a lot of fishing mini games with our souls here in Arc 6. Don't worry about it, everything's fine. We're totally fine. I'm also in a ton of other stuff. I am in a game about gods on Monday night over on Exquisite Corpse TTRPG. It's a great, awesome game. We're wrapping up our first season. I am also on an unannounced upcoming Vampire the Masquerade game where I'm playing a very unhinged vampire. I'm very excited for the world to see it. And you can also find me on the upcoming game that Prince just mentioned over on North of My Northquest, and I'm in a bunch of other unannounced things coming up. I've probably already forgotten something. I'm in a lot of stuff, so check me out on Twitter if you want to know where I am at any given time. And tonight I am playing your beloved Grandma Fen, who really is too old for this shit. Truly, truly too old for all this.
That's amazing. And perfect. Tonight you will be able to actually tip to change the story in different ways. And there are the different things you can do. All the money goes to the cast. So feel free to, if you're enjoying the show, if you have extra cash and all that kind of stuff and you want to throw it their way, please feel free to do so. It all gets split amongst them and everything. So yeah. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So last time, you guys had been assigned as new recruits from Emerald Templars. Although you are new recruits, you come from different walks of life and different experiences and skill sets that you all bring sort of to the table. And you were assigned to Barrio, which is this very small settlement that's used for farming and agriculture and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of a hub between different communities that they pass through it every so often. And they thought it would be good to place you there simply because if you needed to do anything, you could get there easily because you're in the middle of everything. But it's been pretty boring these past 6 to 8 months or so that you've been there. But sure enough, on one stormy morning, you end up waking up to a huge carnival that's appeared suddenly outside of the town. And as you went to go check it out, there was a priest that warned you that it's going to corrupt the community. You need to go ahead and stop it and shut it down. And initially it was oh, silly old man, we'll just go check it out. And sure enough, you guys went in there, and one thing got a little things started to get kind of weird from talking to the staff to how in your face some of the managers were and everything. And especially that time that they summoned a literal feral Oni, which was using demonology, which is very, very illegal. And as Emerald Templars, it's that kind of breaks the laws of the land, and we're going to have to write up a report essentially. But they were very sort of dismissive of it. They said they talked to you later and ultimately convinced you to leave this sort of tent And as you did so and went back to your headquarters to, just talk with Father Onion and be like, you were right about that place, you realize that Father Onion was acting a little bit weird and a bit odd, to the point where he actually was there 1 minute in front of you and then like stopped his speech suddenly and then immediately appeared instantaneously to the door and struggled to open it up before ultimately leaving. As you kind of realize that this world that you like, the world that you left as you enter the tent is not the same world you came out of when you exit the tent, essentially. And now you're sitting here looking at each other, exchanging worried glances, wondering how to handle this next few moments. What would you guys like to do?
What happened with Professor Onion? That's not his name.
Father Onion?
Father Onion. Is he
I was
still
gonna
here?
say Daddy Onion.
Daddy Onion? There you go, yeah. He essentially is just sort of like just walking away, being, hello, good morning. As you notice, as you look at the window, that other people are starting to notice the same thing, as they're like the elderly who were left behind and didn't go in the carnival are also coming out without any back pain or any new use of the cane and be like, I'm totally fine. And they're like, Mom, what are you doing here? Like, what's wrong with you? And you notice that they're starting to glitch out a little bit as well.
So people that went to the carnival are still, they're lucid and they're not part of this.
Correct.
dream
Yeah.
State. Okay.
They're also recognizing one by one that things are slightly weird about the situation. Not only that, but it was raining hardcore when you entered in, and then now it's not. It's bright, sunny, and shiny. Yeah.
How are our corgi, stuffy, soul-bound prizes?
They're great. They're just like, they look even more adorable than before.
That's not possible. Something's up.
If Father Onion is in my proximity, I want to just try and smack him in the back of the head and see what happens.
Sure, that's fine. So you head up there. How hard do you want to hit him?
I want to hurt him.
You want to? Okay. So go ahead and we're gonna say roll strength and probably fight, or hench in this case. You can absolutely do either one.
Oh God. Okay, not looking amazing. Maybe. Strength and fight. That's only 40. Whatever.
40? Okay. So with the 40%, you go up and you like backhand him or what have you as hard as you'd like to. And as you do so, he like ragdolls on the floor and just kind of like spazzes out a little bit and then immediately stops back up. And he's like, hey, you rascal, don't do that. And then he just like gives you the finger and then also just like sort of walks away happily. And then
He gives
yeah.
me the finger. I look back at everyone like, that's incredibly uncharacteristic.
That's really not fair that he has so much flexibility now. My joints fucking hurt. Why aren't my joints better? We went in. Shouldn't we be the ones in? And Fen kind of like looks around, grabs the
No.
nearest flower pot, picks it up, and smashes it on the ground to see if the environment has also changed in addition to the people.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. So as you do so, you pick up the pot and you throw it with all your might, and your hands leave the object, but the pot is still in the air. And then for like 1 second, 2 seconds, and then suddenly it drops on the floor and shatters. And even the audio is delayed from when it should have appeared. Yeah.
What the fuck is audio?
Don Francisco would like to go check on the babies and see how the babies are, if they are whatever state they might be in.
Sure. So you head over to the like nursery or whatever, the maternity ward, and you enter in, and the babies are all like looking at you, pacifiers in their mouths, and just like staring at you. No matter where you go, their eyes sort of follow as they all like suckle in the same moment.
Upon seeing that, he's going to go ahead and back up slowly and slowly close the door. I come back and say, the babies are completely aware of every movement you do and will track you and are doing everything at the same time.
That sounds normal, actually, to me.
It was creepy.
So
For me, like,
Well, babies
really
do
creepy.
tend to be creepy.
This was like creepy, but creepy.
So you're all going to take essentially like 2 anxiety from noticing as you kind of all look around and see that things are not right here. And this, not only that, but the townspeople who joined you into the carnival are also beginning to panic and freak out. And like, what's wrong with my son? Why isn't he acting the same way as he did before? And they're all murmuring, and the panic is getting louder and louder to the point where they begin to come over to you and surround you and are like, what is going on? You're Emerald Templars. You have to help us. Like, as they begin to beg of you and plead with you to give them understanding and ultimately a resolution to this problem.
Which one of us is the de facto leader person that actually speaks to the people? Because it cannot be me. So
Literally, I step forward. All right, now listen. We're going to figure out exactly what happened here. Maybe if we try going back through the tent and coming back out the other side, I don't think that that's going to work. However, don't worry. We have everything under control. Nothing is going to hurt you while we're here, and we're going to get us back our own realm. Promise.
Don Francisco leans over the Fen and say, "We're so fucked. We are so fucked."
Fen has smashed every single flower pot that they could find, like just. In
Sometimes
the
when
so
you,
yeah,
the first one you did bounced like a bouncy ball, and then the second one duplicated. So now there's 2 flower pots that were there was one, and then the other one actually did crack and break normally, but then reformed itself, and then so there it's all like inconsistent. Zora, I will have you do an influence and charm check to be able, and if you have influencer or
Do.
oh, perfect, there you go.
Okay, so with my influence and charm and influencer, that's going to be 14 in addition to not that one. 84.
84? Okay. So with an 84, that's like a critical success. So you speak so like eloquently and with such confidence in your words as they all sort of like look to you and they begin to calm down and their panic kind of like dies. I'm like, you're right. The Emerald Templars are going to take care of us. We should just give them time to operate and do their thing. Cause like this is very weird and they're starting to like disperse.
Please do not go too far away, just in case. We do need you nearby.
And
but do not worry. Nothing as fit. I still see Fen in the background behind me, smashing pots. Don't do anything out of the ordinary, please. Be calm. Have a hot dog.
As they all are
Fen
like
looks back at Don Francisco and is like, "We are quite fucked, yeah. Never seen flower pots do something like this."
I'm just looking up towards the sky, just waiting for one to like fall through and come down and just start like a loop, like a portal.
Yeah, the one that Fen bouncy balled into the air, I don't think has come back down yet.
It has not yet. Yeah, as you kind of look for it. So one thing that happens is that you guys at this moment begin to hear the sounds of instruments playing in like sort of unison. It sounds like a sort of parade that's going on, and as everyone sort of turns and looks to sort of the exit of town, you can see a group of people that are approaching with like trumpets and like trombones and like drums and all this sort of stuff, and they all have these robes that are pink and that have like eyes on them essentially, and designs that are eyes, yeah, essentially, and then as they approach, one of the people actually speak as they go like, welcome everyone. We want to thank you for joining us in this realm of dreams that our deity has created. As they kind of all like, you point back to a statue that you see the pink witch that's sort of there, the same one that you guys had seen, and was like, we want to like welcome you with food and comfort, and we have shelter where we can guide you to, so we want to like welcome you guys. And because of Zora's like rousing sort of speech, they don't quite take this offer. They kind of hide behind the Emerald Templars as they are worried about this, kind of look to you for guidance. Yeah.
And who might you be?
So they the person that seems to have the most regalia is a satyr, as light brown fur and everything. Seems like middle aged, and he goes like, "My name is Santar, and I am we are the sons of midnight, and we like worship the Pink Witch as our deity, and we because of it." We have gained like incredible abilities beyond belief that you like all of you will have access to as you enjoy your time here in this dream realm. As you probably have noticed, things aren't quite the same as you may have known them in the other world. Um,
Right. So how long can we expect to be here?
and she goes, "Oh, forever." As like his companions all go like, "Yeah, you guys are here forever, but it's okay because you're immortal now. You'll never die."
No. These people have homes and friends and families outside of this. No one asked for this. Do you know how we can find our way home?
And the high priest goes like, "Oh, there is no way home." As his companions kind of laugh at the sentiment and all, like, "But it's okay because in this world you'll never age, you'll never want for anything, you'll never experience sickness, and everything is all right now because this is your new home, and we're here to welcome you." As they kind of like offer this, as the panic begins to rile up, and like, "What if my kids are there? Like my baby's like, I need to get back," and they're all beginning to sort of panic here.
I think Boomy looks at Zora. Zora is like her moral compass and also the person that makes her not go to jail.
There's no jail here, it seems like. I don't know.
I mean, that is very true. But she like looks at Zora and just sort of like conferring. It's just sort of like, I just want to threaten this one. Can I just?
I think that might piss the pink witch off more than we would want at this juncture. Let's save it. Harness it. Store
And
it
then,
up.
yeah. Zora just sees Boomy just like about to take like 4 daggers and like in between like 2 of her knuckles, like out of her like from some pocket, from some cloak somewhere, and then
Don't
she just like
worry.
slowly puts them back in.
There's an outlet for this.
I see.
Where might we find? And I turn back to the reveler. I'm like, where might we find the pink witch?
And he goes, "Oh, our goddess is unpredictable. Sometimes she appears in different settlements and towns, and other times she doesn't for a long time. But it's okay because so long as you believe in her, the amount of faith that you accumulate equates to how much power you have in this sort of world. As some of them raise their hands and like show floating butterflies and like different like arrays of colors and all that kind of stuff, and making plants grow immediately." And they're like, "But all you need is faith in the Pink Witch, and she will provide."
Was she not just some pink kitsune bitch that could play guitar? Like, what makes her? What is so special about her that Zora couldn't easily replicate?
They all novella gasp as you talk bad
Here
about
you
their
are,
their
about to
deity and
start a
goddess.
fight anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. As they go like, you can't use such harsh language with our deity, our goddess. She provides everything, and they're like, all of them in unison go like, "Praise be." As
We're not speaking with her. We're talking about her. And if she wants to come and smite us or whatever it may be that religious gods do, then maybe she should come here and punish us herself.
At this moment, you hear an explosion as the ground rumbles around you. As all of you can look over, and you see this like purple, like light violet sort of light appear from the sky and hit to the ground. And suddenly you hear the sounds of like abnormal, like roaring and sort of yelling, almost like weeping a little bit. As everyone begins to panic, it's like an earthquake essentially that occurs. As the high priest, as well as his companions, look to one another with genuine concern and worry, and goes like, "Those are nightmares, and we have to deal with it." I think in this moment, normally we would handle this ourselves, but I think the aid of the Emerald Templars would actually be beneficial here. As he like undoes his robes, and he like is swole, and also has and he also has a couple weapons like sort of on him, as he pulls out sort of a scepter, and he goes like, come on, my brothers and sisters and non-binary, we must go and like deal with this as like they head over, and a chunk of them head over, and there's about 20 of them with the full group. So about 7 of them go out to face these nightmare shore creatures that you can't quite see right now. What would you guys like to do in this time?
Are the nightmares targeting the civilians?
So
Like, what is the situation?
as you kind of like hike up a little bit, because you're kind of on a hill, and as you go to the like top of the hill, you can look down and see 2 rather large creatures that seem to be about 12 feet tall. Their limbs and their like bodies are just so malformed into different shapes and sizes and everything, to the point where they don't look reasonable. They don't look, anything. They just look like terrifying beings, and they are surrounding what looks to be a Volgani that also you can see from like this distance has the sigil of the Emerald Templars like on him, as they seem to be just surrounding this singular figure. As yeah.
Did we forget someone in our group? My memory has been going a little bit, but I feel like I would
You're like-
remember losing an entire person.
It's
I don't-
so
Five.
possible.
I don't think
It's-
so.
I don't think.
All right.
It's
Well,
not one
I guess
of ours.
I was gonna let the pink witch bitches just die, but I guess we have to actually do something.
Yeah, I mean, this is not really our fight, but if there's one of us out there, I mean, we're in it now.
At least see what's going on. All right.
As we as they sprint towards, if your pink witch is so powerful, why are we fighting?
They
Why
novella
must
gasp
you?
as well. Like we can't question her. She works in mysterious ways. As you like, they all run over.
Pink mystery.
At this time, is it Casimir? Perfect. So Casimir, you are in between these 2 horrifying looking creatures. Your body is still materializing as it's like becoming solid. It's kind of like Back to the Future. You can sort of see through your hand, and it's becoming like solid now, as you can smell everything, feel everything, hear everything, and all that kind of stuff. And you definitely see these 2 large, like 12-foot tall, like creatures, as they're just roaring at you and looking to like strike at you. What is it that you would like to do in this time?
First, Casimir looks up and he goes, "Holy shit, it worked. Go me." Did I do something wrong? Just looking at these tall figures. And Casimir's not small. Casimir's about 6'2", about 280 pounds. This is a big Volgani guy. But he just looks up and he's like, am I not supposed... This is not the place I was supposed to land, was it? I was supposed to land somewhere else.
How did you get here?
So,
No, you're not just Deborah Cox, man.
one of them, I gotta clip that. One of them actually goes to strike you and ends up getting an 18%. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna look at your character sheet, first page, and then there's gonna be a defense value. So what is that defense value?
First page.
It'll be top, like, right or middle right. Which I
It's
think...
like next to your skills box. To the right of your skills section.
It should say, like, defense value.
Defense
yeah.
value, 30%.
Okay, good. So they got an 18%, which isn't even a partial success. So one of them takes their malformed limb and tries to swipe at you with it, but you are, dexterous enough to dodge it. And is there anything else you'd like to do? Now, in the distance, you do see some people like that are running over towards you, but they're probably like 70 feet away as they're making their way towards you. That seem humanoid. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll just go straight into this thing that attacked me. I'm not about this life, so I'm getting rid of them. I'm going to use one of my spells. I'll use Bolt of Decay.
Perfect. So you turn to one of the creatures and use Bolt of Decay. So what you're going to do is whenever you're casting a spell, a prayer, or a ritual, you're going to first roll your d10, see what your 10th digit is, essentially. And then you're going to roll your willpower as well as your focus.
Okay, so I got a 9 on my D10.
Okay, so that's 90%.
And willpower, do I just roll another d10 or?
So on your sheet for attributes, it's going to say willpower, and then it should have a percentage in there.
That's 8%.
Okay, 8%. And then for your skills, it should have focus.
Focus is 6%.
Okay, perfect. So that's 104%. So you like overcrit. So essentially what happens is two things. Number one, you hit with full force, meaning you do double damage. So go ahead and read Bolt of Decay, and then whatever the effect is, it'll be doubled.
You warp healing prayers to weapons of decay that cause necrosis wherever it touches. Affected creatures take 1d6 damage and gain 4 turns of infected.
Okay, so 2d6 damage and 8 turns of infected, essentially.
Ooh, okay. So the 2d6 turned out to be a 6.
Okay, and then 8 infected. Perfect. And then the other thing that happens is that because you scored so high on it, in the world of Emerald Templars, there is like chaos magic, as well as various other tables that happen as well. So what you're going to do is you're now going to roll your 2d10 and tell me essentially what you get.
12.
12? Okay. So with the 12, your hair color changes to a shimmering violet that offers low light within 10 feet that can shine on or off at your whim. So your hair is a flashlight now. And you're a Volgani, so you have hair for days. So you have as much hair as you like.
So I got hair, just this big fucking mane going all the way down my back. And it's just a big old violet light. And he's like,
if you want to be Super Saiyan
it?
3, you can
Let's
absolutely
go.
be Super Saiyan 3.
let's go.
Perfect. So then you do take lucidity because you use a spell. So whatever the lucidity cost is, go and roll it and then add it to your tracker.
10. Oh, that's a 7.
And then after the other creature will go to attack you, which will be, oh no, this one will hit, so it'll be a 32%. So with that, they are going to go ahead and strike you for 7 points of physical stress. So on your tracker, put 7 in your physical stress box. And now, whoever would like to try to fight these creatures are now in the mix, as you've like sprinted and bolted all the way over there. So go ahead and roll initiative. And again, initiative is simply your D10, and then you're going to do your agility and nimble. And then let me know what you get.
63.
63? Okay, perfect.
52.
Okay. And who got the 52? Oh, Finn. Okay.
66.
There we go.
Unfortunately, I could never get a 9. Damn it.
And then Don Francisco. Oh, muted.
16.
16. Okay. And then
Slow bitch.
Yeah. The purple hair threw me off.
Oh,
I was coming down like, whoa.
you're like, is that chaos magic? Yeah. There you go. And then Casimir.
So I rolled a 30. You said agility and nimble.
Correct.
34.
34. Okay. And then the bad guys are going to get. Oh, great! They're going to get a 12. All right. So what happens in this scene is that you guys are rushing in to help your fellow Templar. As you do so, you see the Sons of Midnight are whipping out their weapons and using their spells to attack one of the two creatures. So you guys have the other creature you have to deal with. Conveniently, it's the one that Casimir has already damaged. So, first one up is going to be Zora.
Yeah, that's right. I think that I will use this opportunity. I'm gonna use Soulfire.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I'll read that aloud. You harness your spiritual energy with such force that you are able to weaponize it and fire it towards your foes. Oh, a mortal creature takes 1d6, while a non-mortal creature takes 2d6.
It is non-mortal.
So I am going to cast that with. Actually, I'm not sure what I cast that with.
No, you're fine. And your class is a priest, right?
Witch.
Witch. Oh, got it. Okay, so you're gonna either use intellect or will. I can't remember. I think it might be intellect. Is intellect your highest stat for?
Intelligent. They're
Or
matched.
intelligence. Oh, okay. Yeah, so intellect or will, whichever you prefer, and then you'll do focus.
Okay. Cool. Doing things without my glasses on. So silly.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Actually, yeah, that is a spell, so it would be intellect. Yeah.
44.
44. Yep, you do succeed. You don't crit, but you do succeed. So go ahead and roll the 2d6 damage.
12.
12. Okay. That was max damage. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Really good. All right, there we go. So you.
And I think rather than like actually putting any effort, it's a heavy sigh of having to do anything at all. Like very unimpressed with this pink witch. Like, this is your magical realm where you get to protect everyone and you have all these idiots fooled, then why am I here fighting off nightmares? Why are they fighting off nightmares? My soul fire is irritated.
You've gained the title of heretic for the inspection. There you go. All right, so after you, it's gonna go. So in combat, by the way, as a refresher, you have your major action, your minor action, and then sort of like your movement action. So if you choose to sacrifice any one of them, you get to have another of whatever you'd like to. So if you sacrifice your primary or your major action or primary action, then you can move double the distance. Or if you choose not to move at all during your turn, then you can attack, twice, essentially having two primary actions or major actions. And then just make sure you take your lucidity cost for casting that spell. Perfect.
Okay, so I'm not going to burn any movement. Does that mean I can
Yeah, we're gonna say that you guys all came to a stop as you arrived in the battle location. So if you'd like to not move from where you are currently, and then go ahead and take another primary action, you can, if you'd like to.
I would like to take another primary action. And then I will use Windblade, because as I flip my hair in frustration, I twist the air violently with my hair flip and launch it towards a creature within 40 feet, dealing 1d8 physical damage.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead and roll it.
Pull a d8 out.
It's
and this is to the one that's in front of Casimir.
Yes, yeah. It's so scary having you guys read my writing out loud. I'm like, I hope this sounds cool and I don't make any typos. Yeah.
I think it sounds real cool. And that's 3.
3? Okay. That's or go to roll for accuracy. So roll your intellect and then
Silly.
Focus, yeah.
74.
74? Oh yeah, you got it. You needed 32, 74. Yeah, so you got a critical success. So double that damage. So just roll another d8 because you already have 3 for one of them.
So all total, that's going to be 9. And then with my first attack, that's going to be 24. Or 29 plus 12? What's 9 plus 12? 21.
21, yeah.
Whoa. Anyone else remember that relic from the internet? Sorry.
Perfect. And then after that, it's going to be 63 was Fen, right? Yeah, Fumi. There you go. Oh, Fumi Fen. I'm sorry, I need to put it. Go for it.
To also clarify, is shapeshifting free or is that a primary action technically?
That'll be a minor action for you.
A minor action. Okay, great. I will be going immediately into my fox form. Almost sort of like Fumi pulling a cloak over her head and the hood just sort of like spiraling into smoke and turning into just like a wild looking like dripping but also smoky tar fox. And she's gonna use her movement to get extremely close to the first amalgamation creature. And I want to. My primary action, I want to attack. And I'm going to be using my arcane claws.
Okay.
So remind me again what that would be. Is that my agility?
Yeah, so it'll either be your strength or agility, depending on how you feel your character would be fighting in that time, and then also your fight.
Okay.
Yeah. And because you're entering melee combat, actually, I think Zora should have had this too, but because Casimir, your ally, is right there fighting this creature as well, unless you consider him an enemy, but you'll have flanking. So that means that you get an automatic 10% bonus.
Okay, word. Bum. You're gonna regret that, D'Angelo. That's gonna be a. It's I have a 10 because of my agility and fight. I rolled an 8, so that's already 90. So I got a 100.
110% or so. Okay.
Yeah.
So that works. So double damage. So go and roll your damage.
Amazing.
And then
Christ. That will be 6 points of damage, and then with shapeshifting, the minor action is technically a secondary action.
Correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So you use your primary to attack, your minor to or secondary rather to shapeshift, and then you use your movement to get to the target. So yeah.
Okay, so then I'm done, and now Casimir just has a terrifying fox just next to him.
And then, yeah. So after you, it's gonna go ahead and go to Fen with a 52, right?
Yes.
Got it. Perfect.
I think Fen is moving pretty fast for their old bones. Well, not fast, like down the hill, they're kind of like toddling down it. Volgani, who is a lot smaller than Casimir, is only 5'5". They look like they are well over 100 years old. And they watch Fumi go up, and they just kind of go, little sloppy still. But like, there's a note of pride in there. And I am also going to come right up and attack, and I'd like to use my secondary action to get my deep cuts going, which means that if I hit the creature, they will be gain the bleeding condition for 2 turns, and that bleed damage is doubled.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm gonna swipe at them with my claws. Well, first I'll roll. I'll do that first.
Okay, go for it. Again, you're in melee combat with 2 allies surrounding it, so you get the 10% bonus for flanking.
Okay, I believe that is 50 total.
50? Okay. You do succeed. You don't get a critical, but you do succeed. So continue forward.
Excellent. So that is going to be nice. Full damage. 8 for the claws, and they will take doubled bleed damage. So
Okay.
I believe it's 1d4 bleed, so that's an extra 5 points of bleed damage on top that they'll have for the next 2 rounds.
All right. There we go. And then anything else for you?
No, I believe that is it.
Okay. And then after that, it's going to go ahead and go over to Casimir with a 34.
Actually, I just realized that I have awareness, which brings me up another 10% to 44, but I don't think that matters that much. Okay. Casimir sees this little wolfling, but is thinking, Gran. That is a Gran wolf right there. Must protect Gran. And is going to bring out the spear and take a stabby.
Perfect.
To
So
skewer this thing that's in front of them.
that'll go ahead and be your strength and then your fight.
Okay. Strength and fight. Got it.
And if you're wielding it in 2 hands, it'll step up in the damage. So it'll be like a D8 instead of a D6. Yeah.
Excellent. That is exactly what I'm doing. And that is a 56.
56, you do hit. So go ahead and continue with your damage.
Alright.
I gotta give these creatures multi-attack or something.
So that is a 3.
Or bonus.
There you go. Yeah. And that was a 3. You said.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, good. So, you have taken your primary action. You have not used your secondary or movement. So, if you want to, you can sacrifice one of them to get an extra attack, essentially, if you'd like to. Or you could run for your life, or whatever.
I'm not really scared for my life. I'm more scared for these other creatures who are here with me.
You do look around, and you definitely can see their Emerald Templar sigils. So you know
Yeah.
they're of your faction, and yeah, thankfully.
I'm worried for the other Templars. I feel pretty good about my abilities to survive these two that are in front of me. But these other noobs, I'm like, there's the old one that's running around. There's some other look like rookies. I feel pretty, flexing. So I'm gonna go ahead and take another attack. And I'm gonna just haul off and punch this thing. I'm gonna just drop this
Sure.
thing just on some bold shit and just come at me. And I will attack again.
Go for it. Strength and fight.
Ooh. Oh, that is the double zeros, baby.
I love it when we get 100 plus.
That is 106%.
Okay, perfect. So you do crit, so go ahead and roll double damage for that. You do have like your feral weapons. Yeah. So because you're a Volgani, you have actual like your feral weapons. So it'd be a D6. So 2D6 is what you do.
D6.
And because you were in melee combat, actually I should have done this for Fumi as well. You will roll on the Valor table. So go to roll a D20.
Okay.
And Fumi, you can do this as well if you'd like to. Because I forgot to do it for you.
All right, so I got an 18 on my D20.
Okay. 18.
And my two. Oh, go ahead.
So with an 18, the last hit you made, you peed yourself a little. You gained 1d6 anxiety. So...
A little piss baby.
So, yeah. So just add that to your thing. And then Fumi? 2.
Speed a little.
With a 2, you seize an opportune moment, allowing you to add 1d10 to your damage. So go ahead and roll d10, and you did a little bit more damage that turn.
And the 2d6 damage was a 10.
10? Okay.
9.
9? Okay. Jesus. All right. And then, perfect. After that, you've exhausted all your resources. You do have your secondary. The only thing I think you can do with that is like transform into your feral form, but that'll cause more exhaustion. So like,
I'm good.
Yeah. So,
I feel pretty good where I am right now.
And then it's gonna go to Don Francisco. So you see this creature of nightmare and horror with teeth and eyeballs and all this sort of weird stuff that is just kind of like hanging on its last limb as it's been attacked by your allies, and yeah.
All right. Are there any corpses around?
Yes, you do see that one of the Sons of Midnight died. Underneath his pink robes was a red shirt. So.
Okay. I'm going to honor this fallen red shirt, pink lady, night person, and I'm going to raise skeleton. So you see Don Francisco's eyes go from the cloudy white to deepest midnight black, and he's gonna utter some words, and when you see the words come out of his mouth, it's almost like a ghostly specter kind of essence to it, and it goes into the fallen soldier's body and animates the corpse of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just command it to go attack that monstrosity in front of us. That's in front of everyone.
Perfect. So you use your primary action to use Raise Dead, and it does so as you see this dead body raise up and then lazily head over with weapon in hand to go and strike at it. I will go to use their stats. So that's 80%. So 80. So it's 92%. So it does hit and crit. If you'd like to, you can roll the damage, which is going to be 2d6.
2d6? Yeah, I can do that. That's 11 points right there.
Perfect. All right, good. That worked out great because with your combined might, using all of your like might and magic, essentially, it just tears into pieces, and you see it melts, like fall to the ground, and then kind of just like melt into it. It gets sucked into this sort of dream realm, and it, like flowers bloom from where it once was. And conveniently, you look over to see the Sons of Midnight have also stopped their like foe as well, and all of you are sort of huffing and puffing and looking at this sort of scene. And what would you guys like to do at this time?
I think Fen leans over, picks up the staff that Casimir had dropped, and then whacks them in the back of the head with it. You pup! Now what do you think you're doing here, running into the middle of a dreamland all willy-nilly in the middle of a monster attack? Whack! Again. Now.
If you want
Yeah.
to, you can do influence and daunt if you want to be like super intimidating. If you succeed,
Why not?
if you succeed, he gets anxiety. So
I was only joking when I said PvP. I don't have that much. Let's see what happens. Well, it's definitely not as daunting as they want it to be. It's only a 12.
only 12%. Okay, yeah, it's not enough to affect you. So
Brent, stop.
Is this your grandchild? Is that what's happening?
Whimpering pup. I
Not
don't know.
exactly, but
Do you know this guy?
time of affection, if you will.
Nah.
Your lovers?
No.
I'm
No.
a fox. I'm a fox. I can't talk.
yeah, you're like yeah. You can choose to shift out if you like. And after combat, you all get like 2d6 exhaustion back. So
Oh, word.
yeah.
I'm gonna climb up on Don Francisco and just sit.
Get little scritches. And I'm leaning against my. Does my skeleton friend stay there for?
Yeah. It stays there probably for like until you dismiss it, or 30 minutes essentially.
Oh yeah, and then I'm just like leaning up against, my skeleton friend like a cheesy '90s buddy cop movie, like VHS cover, like that,
Yes.
with Fumi like right over my shoulder too.
Perfect. As if
I don't know who this young whippersnapper is. Perhaps you could enlighten us on what it is that you're doing here.
Astral projection. What are you doing here?
We got tricked by a horrible circus witch.
A circus witch. Wait, aren't
Hey,
you too old to
respect
be
your elders.
getting...
Bat.
Ow, stop. Jeez.
as you see
And you
the
say you chose to be here. Is that what you're saying right now?
Yeah, I've been studying the Pink Witch. What are you doing here?
Pink witch. Oh, perhaps we have some use for you. And Fen kind of like uses the staff or the spear that you had pulled out as like a walking stick. Perhaps we could have use for you. Come on. And they start walking back towards the rest of the group.
So the Sons of Midnight come over to you, especially the High Priest Santor, as he goes, "Oh, that was a glorious display of skill and might. We could use like someone like you in our ranks." As he comes and addresses all of you, he goes, "Oh,
I'm
you."
a fox.
I run my not quite, because I'm still in my human form, but
Mhm.
not quite clawed fingers like rhythmically up the ribs of this. Oh wait, no, is it a skeleton?
The nightmare, or is it, or the undead?
My
Yeah,
other
that-
buddy cop.
It's up to you. So you can have it be like a zombie, or you can have it just like the flesh melts and the skeleton comes out.
Yeah,
of it.
I wanted it to be like when I animated it and the words went in, as it raised up, it almost kind of like the skeleton came through the skin,
Sure.
and muscle and tissue. So yeah, it's all ribbies,
Yep.
bunch of riblets.
So I run my fingers up the ribs, and it kind of sounds like a xylophone. I thought you said she made you immortal.
And he goes, "They did, not invulnerable, but immortal. But if you know if something tragic happens, where someone falls or anything like that, then unfortunately people have passed away in here. But we try our best to make sure that everyone who comes here is taken care of, so they can live in bliss for the rest of the eternity, essentially.
When he says when someone falls, that's when the skeleton just collapses.
Collapses.
Oh no. It seems like a lot of work to believe in someone who you have to do all the work for.
If you want to, you can do your influence and charm or not.
I'm shooting for I would love to use that. Like Tinkerbell losing her power.
Yeah.
Like maybe we can get out of this by just like ragging on this pink witch this entire time. Okay. Use the pink die. 74.
74. Okay. Your words hit hard as they kind of all look to each other, as some of them took wounds, and you can see that they're bleeding from them. As they kind of look, the high priest looks back and goes, "Oh, ye of little faith, don't worry. We will lighten you soon. Like for now, we got nighttime is approaching. When night approaches, that's when the nightmares really start to come. As you see in this dream world, there are people in your reality, in our reality at one point." When they go to sleep and dream, that's when the nightmares come, as well as the pleasant things as well. But quickly they can turn into nightmares because they're so unpredictable. So we come to a shelter to be able to protect ourselves from this until daylight, comes. As he kind of like mentions to you, as you kind of look around, and from your knowledge of like Patio and the area around, this is mimicking what it looks like. So it's almost like a copy of what the real world sort of looks like. Yeah.
So you get to live here in this land that's not that great, and you have to shelter yourself. You might as well want to live in the real world. What does she offer you that you can't have? Do you not garden at home and see butterflies flit around in the thing that you've created, as opposed to this?
As he...
I suddenly unshapeshift, and I'm just like hanging off of Don Francisco, like your shoulder, with just like my whole body, and I'm just like, yeah, that sounds like it sucks shit.
Like a scam.
I mean, the only thing good about this is that rent's not due on the 1st. It's about the only
there are no
benefit I'm
taxes
seeing.
either. And then so he like gestures for you to like walk with him as he's walking like back up the hill, as everyone, the onlookers, are sort of looking down at you guys. Thank you so much for the tips. We really, really appreciate you. And then let me actually look at those really quickly. Just see.
Yeah, just in case you have enough money to kill us or something.
Yeah.
What?
Unlike that.
So let's see here. 10 is one reroll. So in your guys's wait, is that this one? Let me see. ETO. Add 10%. So in your pool, so if anyone needs it, there is one add 10%. So if you feel like you need to pop that, you absolutely can. The other one that was just came from Emma, which is a saint, is heal 10 stress. So anytime someone needs to heal stress, you can pop that. So you have add 10% and then heal 10. So at this time, he's gesturing for you to like sort of follow him up the actual hill, as all the onlookers are watching you guys work in unison. And he goes, well, to be honest with you, we're stuck here. We literally don't know how to get back. And after, a good, I don't even know if time is the same as it was in the real world, but we've been here for so long that we just decided to start this sort of community. And I'm not the first that started it. It's, I'm going to be running up that hill. There you go. I'm not even the one that started this like community in the Sons of Midnight. I was, brought into this. Oh my God. So he goes, but we make do with what we can, and your reality is that you are essentially stuck here, like all of you, even you, as he gestures to Casimir, and goes like, I'm not sure how you came. You're the first one I've heard of that arrived without the help of the Pink Witch, but you're here just like the same of us. And he goes, so if you can't leave on your own accord, we may as well make the best of it. As he just says that.
I can leave on my own. It's fine. And Casimir tries to go back. Okay, maybe it's not fine.
That'll be 3 anxiety, as you realize that you're stuck here.
Bum. Well, I'd say if you're being forced to stay here,
So this is a prison. This is a prison. This is what this is.
this is
I
a
wouldn't
prison.
say it's a prison.
ended up-
This is a prison that is unaffected by your faith in this person who forces you here to fight your own battles and hide away from nightmarish creatures that you need Emerald Templars to assist you
What?
with. You might as well
What is her
desire the
game?
world of the living.
What is her game? Like, are these nightmares something that she should be fucking dealing with, and the ones that are just here have to protect themselves? Is that what's going on?
And he answers honestly, at least as honest as you can tell with your passive sort of insight. As he goes, well, it's from what I understand, she, as well as all of the Pink Witches at one point when their order was alive, that they feed on the good dreams of the people. That's why they worked so hard to try to create an environment that they actually can destroy these nightmares, so that the people who are like conjuring them can have a more peaceful sleep, and then she gets to benefit as well as her order got to benefit from it. It's unfortunate that she's the last one of her kind, but from my understanding is that every time she brings people into this world, she gains power in doing so, and immortality, and so on and so forth. And we are simply just mere mortals at her whim. So what can we do other than worship her and benefit from this shared power? As
Have you ever considered killing God?
And he kind of chuckles at it, as a couple other people do around, and he goes, "Many have tried. You aren't the first Emerald Templars that have been here. There have been Emerald Templars, Iron Lions, which you know is a criminal cartel or criminal syndicate that is known for murders, smuggling, all this sort of stuff. The pretty intense stuff." And he goes, and so many other have come through here, just like you, skeptical, and which is understandable. But none of them have been able to succeed. One, they have to find her, and she just relocates so quickly that even is an issue. But it seems that whenever we pray to her, we somehow, some way, get her power, like a fragment of her power. As he closes his eyes and then blooms, some more magical energy that you can't quite identify, at least with a mere look at it. Maybe Casimir, from your occultist. Does anyone else have a cultist? Okay, cool. So as long as you have 4% or above, then you would recognize that that's sort of like dream magic. It's very chaotic. It doesn't always work well, and if you mess it up, the person that you're casting the sort of spells on can have their soul and their mind separated from their body, essentially. So it's not really used that much. One of the more illegal magics. And
Dream magic is volatile. Didn't you know that?
And he goes, but there's what government is there to regulate us here? As he continues to do it, as everyone is dream magic.
I go ahead and I take a look at the our Emerald Templar badges and just look around and well, us.
And he goes,
Did you even ask to be brought here? Did anyone ask to be brought here? Did anyone want to be in this constant dream state? You know what's sexy? Consent is sexy.
and he goes,
And right now, this doesn't seem sexy.
This isn't sexy.
Well said, Don Francisco.
So you definitely see that he goes, we've been chosen and blessed. We could have died by now. Many of us could have died, but now we get to live. Think of it. I can see you with your necromancy. You can perform whatever you'd like to, whatever experiments you'd like.
Is this really living? I have a body somewhere else right now that is just in a meditative state, and I am here, and that body is going to decay and then eventually die, and I'll still be stuck here. That doesn't sound like my idea of a good time.
As he goes, you have many questions, and I understand all of your concerns, but actually, tonight we're actually holding a feast because some of our brothers and sisters are elevating to the next chapter or tier of our order, and we'd like to invite all of you, actually, as he addresses the whole crowd and goes please, if you stay here in your homes, you will be attacked by these nightmares, but I invite you to come with us to our shelter. That way you can feed on food and drink. Even though you might not need it, it still has the sweet taste of your food and does bring some comfort to you. And as he kind of like says this all, as the people kind of look at their surroundings and can see in the distance, like a Minecraft server, you see different nightmares start to pop up as like the sun begins to decline and everything.
Ah,
And
yes. Eat or die. Lead on.
So-
Dream
Is there-
food, my favorite.
Is there lamb at
delicious.
this feast?
No, there's sheep
I
because
don't
we
think we
count
should
them.
be eating dream food. Isn't there a whole
No.
thing where you shouldn't eat the food of like another place? And
Something about that. Yes, it does seem like it would trap us here.
This is very culty.
I mean,
So-
I do
Just
like culty. I just
take
What do
don't
you know
like-
about
They're
cults?
like-
Please
they're
tell
like,
me more. Inform
we
me
don't
about
like
your
to
knowledge
use
of
that
cults.
word as like
Oh,
we're a religious
interesting.
order.
You don't like to
Mm.
use the word
Mhm.
cult because you might very well be.
As they go like, you guys are all very cold. Here's some pink robes for you. As one by one, people in the crowds are like, "Oh, thank you." As it is kind of chilly. As they,
As we go through, I just take those robes off and just throw them on the floor. Take the robes off, throw them on the floor.
Yeah.
so
This is cult wear. Don't. I'm like following behind Don Francisco. Like, what are you doing?
It's just
Do you
religious-
not want to go home?
So, they guide you guys down a pathway that you know would lead to another town, but now it's this like other settlement that has architecture from another age and era. It looks very, very old, detailed, ornate, and there are statues that are worshiping the Pink Witch in this like sort of glorious form, where there are candles in like at the base, and there are like probably about 70 other people here that are worshiping, the statue and going about their sort of business. And you see tables, long wooden tables that are formed with all this various food. There are tacos and enchiladas and menudo and pozole and all this sort of stuff that's sort of laid out. and so on and so forth. And they go, please join us. And it smells immaculate, and it looks like you feel it, and it looks real and everything. And it seems legit, as everyone kind of like does mention like, ooh, I am sort of hungry right now, as even you guys can feel your hunger growing at this moment. You don't need any checks, or it doesn't affect you
Casimir
anyway.
goes to eat, but he does definitely go as he's walking past and seeing people worshiping at this Pink Witch altar, and he goes, you know what? My father always told me to never put the pink on a pedestal, and so I'm not doing that, but I will eat.
Sure.
The pussy,
No, the pink.
the pink, as in
Do you?
Why
I
are
mean,
you talking about
my-
cats?
My order doesn't even have. What are you talking about? We don't.
who the fuck are you? Let's start there.
And
As
Casimir, shaman.
Go on.
there are chips and salsa by you, by the way. As
I just crunch, 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 just eating in front of everyone.
Don't you? Okay.
you heal if you choose to eat the food. You heal for 1d12 anxiety.
Ooh,
Listen, last time we ate the food here at anywhere,
What? No.
as a GM, player to GM, are you trying to starve us out? Tell me the truth.
No. What?
As a
I
GM,
would
you're supposed to tell the
never.
truth. You can't lie to your players.
You have to tell us if you're lying or not.
Wait,
There-
what game are we playing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there-
Lonzo? Do you know how this works?
So
Just saying.
you
Why-
definitely.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Just to describe it further, there is a mariachi band that's like playing, and everyone's sort of like enjoying themselves. People are dancing, and they're all sort of one by one. The new sort of people from the town are beginning to indulge themselves. They're like, well, I am hungry, and even their kids who joined them in the carnival are also here, as they're like, you know what, let's just eat, I guess. And you see them like literally before your eyes. Their anxiety just melts as they seem more comforted, and they begin to eat, more. As they, pick up different burritos, and they like all that sort of stuff. And you guys see that there are quesadillas in front of you. It looks the size of a small baby, and 3,000 calories, and yeah. So there are also drinks, margaritas, and like all this tequila and all this sort of stuff. Do you choose to drink and eat, or do you choose not to?
Casimir does.
Well, of course, your body isn't here. I can only presume.
This is your actual person here, not a
Yes.
projection. Oh, that sucks. Oh, maybe it sucks less than my situation then, because I can't get back to my body. You should help me with that, as a matter of fact.
I think we have to deal with this pink witch situation. If she would come down from her mighty throne or whatever.
You know what? The Pink Witch may not even exist.
As you guys say Pink Witch, everyone goes like, praise be, every time you mention Pink Witch.
When was the last time anyone even saw the Pink Witch?
There are
I
some...
mean, we saw her yesterday, presumably. Today?
Presumably.
What day is it?
No way of knowing.
Now, Cas,
I don't
you
know. I've
said
been
that
astral
you
projecting for the last few days, and I just got stuck here. So who knows what day?
And you said you study the Pink Witch. Is that true?
Yeah. I was trying to find her through different dimensions, realms, whatever you want to call it.
What do you know about her? Why was one such as you trying to find the Pink Witch? I didn't even know they were a thing until just now.
And I am your knowledge, so whatever questions you have, feel free to let me know, and then I'll make sure to answer them.
Yeah. I suspect the Pink Witch has been imprisoning people. And oh, go ahead, please.
Correct. Yeah. So you know that she's become a fable. At one point, she was real, and there was this order of the Pink Witches that got like essentially dismantled and banned because essentially their order went chaotic with their dream magic, and they couldn't contain it, and they were seeking the highest of highs and also bringing on the lowest of lows in terms of like dreams and nightmares and everything. So they were dismantled, but there was rumors that there was one witch that was still operating, and that's the Pink Witch. That's her name was essentially called. And at the same time, there's this fable of this like magical carnival that appears randomly and has the greatest of excitement and entertainment and everything like that, and is an unforgettable sort of show. And through your research, you identify that they are linked together, but she apparently operates in the dream realm, and you've been able to astral project to there to guess where she might be, and then sure enough, you got it right accidentally. But you yourself, as Casimir, is a recruit, and this is fairly new for you as a sort of shaman to toy with these sort of things. Yeah.
And I pass this along to the rest of the group. I'm not hiding any of it because I'm stuck and I probably need help to get out of here.
There's one other thing I should mention. So you are a Vudan, which is a shaman that specifically works with spirits to talk with them, communicate with them, can hear them. And you notice that there are a couple of voices that are coming from the bags of your sort of companions, as if there's something like a spirit of some kind that's in there. Yeah.
And with that, you see a very weird thing is that Casimir just gets up very close to your personal space and starts to sniff
Is it the wicker basket of whispering?
at your bags, and it's like, you keeping spirits for a particular reason?
Oh,
The corgis?
And
I
they
pull.
Those are corgis.
We got these at the
Corgis.
festival, at the carnival.
You do see these two very adorable, fluffy sort of corgis with beady eyes, and as you look to them, you can hear their voices kind of call out to you and be like, "Oh my God, it's a shaman! Thank God!" As they just call out to you and be like, "Listen to me. We don't have much time, but we got to tell you that don't eat or drink the food because it's gonna like knock you out super hardcore. But you astral projected here, so you should be immune to it. But like everyone else is gonna pass out like super hardcore. That's what happened to us. And like at this time, as they're trying to explain more to you, the high priest actually comes over and he goes like, "Are you guys enjoying your food?" As he leans over and this satyr has like wicked antlers, as is just
I'd
like
be enjoying
or
it more
horns.
if you minded your business.
What is the fuck?
And Casimir is like, don't enjoy the food. Don't enjoy the food. No, definitely do not enjoy the food. I'll enjoy the food for you, but you don't.
As you pile your plate with like, more stuff.
Yeah, I'm just like, but I'm taking all of this in. I'm like, no, seriously though, really, don't do it.
Don't
The
worry.
corgi says so.
All right, so all those who denied food and drink will take 1d6 exhaustion, because you're getting your tummy's grumbling a little bit.
And you just see Casimir just take a big old bite out of a burrito. You see hot sauce going on top of it.
Oh, is that red?
It's like,
is that green sauce?
seriously, y'all don't do it. I'll take care of it for you.
I get the food that I want and I put it on Cashmere's plate.
Really?
To like
good.
watch him do
I
it.
didn't
Yeah.
expect this at all. Wow,
So
amazing.
the high priest is still lingering and looming over you, and goes, "The festivities will begin in just a moment. Afterwards, I'd love to speak with you guys, about how you can help us out in the future and all that kind of stuff. But actually, you guys should rest tonight, because you've already been through so much, and I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. We'll save the talk for the morning. So please just feel free to enjoy yourselves, and we'll, and have a wonderful night." As he gets up, and you see the other members of this religious organization, not so much a cult, as they're like, high priest, please give us your blessing, and he's just like, hand signals to them, and then they're like, and yeah, so with that, you guys are left alone now. What would you guys like to do or say?
Ben kind of mumbles. Now, what exactly happens when you fall asleep when you're already sleeping? I don't really like the idea of that personally. Fumi, I think you can do that sneaky thing that you do and follow our good high priest there to see where he's going off to.
Oh,
What
certainly.
exactly they're getting up to. Thank you.
Perfect. So, if you'd like to, go ahead and do your agility, and it would be nimble to be stealthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Okay. 60 on the die, and then 8 plus 4, so 72.
Okay, with the 72%, you succeed. As you're walking through this, now there's a lot of people here. There's probably like 90 people, 70 being this religious organization, and then the other being, the townspeople that came in and all that. And correct, there's no Fae like in this world, at least not yet. So, so you end up walking through here nonchalantly, casually. No one questions you, as there's elote vendors that people are getting in line for, and people kind of assume that you're also doing that as well. So you do see the main tent where the high priest is entering into, and you can see that there's 3 individuals that are in the tent as they're getting like regalia sort of on them and all that kind of stuff. What would you like to do? Would you like to try to peek into the tent, just stand near it to listen in, or anything else?
Interesting. I want to look in.
Sure.
Let's
You
see if
find.
I can get a look in.
Yeah. So with that 72, we're going to carry that over. So you do see like a bit that's just a loose piece of fabric that you can kind of peer through. And as you do so, you can see that the high priest is kind of just like ordaining them or what have you, and being like, you are going to the next level of serving the pink witch. I myself envy you for what you're about to experience, because I cannot do it myself. I have to be here to tend to the flock and everything. So I want to thank you for your service and your kindness in this, and the Pink Witch is going to take care of you, and you're going to be filled of immense power. And they're like, praise be, as they all kneel to him as he kind of like, puts on some what you consume is like holy sort of water, as they're excited as they have some like regalia on them that are sort of antlers, and also some sticks and everything and flowers that they're super excited about, and they look genuinely like elated by this, that they've been sort of chosen, as they wipe their tears away and are really hyped about it. And he goes like, we're gonna continue in like 10 minutes, so like say your goodbyes to your friends and anyone else you'd like to while you're here, because the journey that you're going to go on is going to be one that you can never come back from, essentially. As they're like, of course we understand. As yeah, so you hear this. Is there anything else you'd like to do, or would you like to head back?
Are there any implements that are like hanging, or like are there any sort of tool looking religious items? Does it seem like they use anything as an apparatus for magic, essentially.
Yes, you do see that there is a very unique scepter that the high priest has, that he uses in all of his sort of stuff. So whenever he casts magic or whenever he blesses, he always uses that, and it like shines pink when it does so. He's the only one that has an instrument like this. The others use their own sort of rods, orbs, like things you've seen sold at like the equivalent of Walmart and in the real world and all that. But his is unique and very special. Yeah.
Okay. What is the make of the room right now? Is it still him and the two other sort of like acolytes?
Yeah, it's him and three of them as they're just kind of finishing up their sort of stuff. But eventually he like goes to sort of leave, and then as they sit in their chairs and they just kind of like talk with one another about how excited they are to go to this next level and help out the Pink Witch. Yeah.
So High Priest is gone. The acolytes are there.
Correct.
I would like to attempt to scare the shit out of them so that they leave the tent from outside of the tent.
Sure.
I want to attempt to see like a nightmare, and I can take my exhaustion stress to shapeshift and turn, like, just create like a silhouette on the other side of the tent, and then just become like move my smoke and like oil droplets just like behind, like just like as a shadow.
Sure. So you're going to go ahead and do your charm as well as, or sorry, influence, and then you're going to do your charm or daunt, which in this case might be daunt because you're trying to scare them.
Yeah.
And there is that 10% bonus that was donated, or tipped rather. And then if you'd like to try that.
That was influence and daunt, so that's gonna be a 94.
So 94, you crit as you use the like illumination from the candles and the torches that are sort of around to paint this picture on the back of it as you appear. Is there anything you say, or just you look like daunting and feral?
I say something cursed. I think I just say, "You wet the bed," or something.
Perfect. With the 94,
Casimir's eyes goes up. It wasn't the bed. I promise.
there you go. As you look down at your pants, and there is like a small spot, like a dark spot, as you try to cover it. So you do find that when you do this, they react in a way that you can also see their silhouettes as they rise up with the regalia and everything, and they kind of freak out as they like gather to each other, and they go like, "Well, what is it? Is this a test? Is this a part of what it is to become like an archbishop or something?" As they kind of like talk amongst one of themselves, as you see them, one of them seems to have some sort of magic of some kind, as their hands begin to illuminate, and goes like, "Maybe this is a test. Should we try to like smite it?" As they gather their power. What would you like to do? You are in fox form, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can dart away if you'd like to, or whatever you'd like to do.
I could do the stupid thing.
See, this is what people fear when they're like, don't split the party. This is what they're talking about. Go on.
No. Okay. I will take what I saw, because I got a considerable amount of information, and it's good to know that the high priest, for whatever reason, just leaves the scepter in his tent.
Oh no, he has a scepter with him. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But the high priest is gone.
Correct. He left the tent to like go
Okay.
back to his table essentially, or even address the crowd. Yeah.
Understand. Okay. Yeah, I'll just bolt away.
Okay. You do so in the cover as they're like trying to figure out what happened, and they see your silhouette leave, and they look to each other, and they just like try to process. And sure enough, you arrive back with the crowd as at this moment. At this moment you arrive, but during this time while you were waiting for Fumi, is there anything that the rest of you would like to have done? Whether it be talk to the corgis more, or talk to amongst each other, or even inform them of what the corgis had said, and that they're sentient, and like, yeah.
So, how did you know about the food? I mean, I feel like it's common sense, but you seemed very certain.
The corgis told me.
I knew there were
could speak
fucking
to the
souls in there.
corgis.
What do they have to say? other than don't eat the food? Did they eat the food and that's why they're corgis now? What? Can you? I
TLDR is
like
they
lift
told
the
me that if you
basket.
eat the food, you go to sleep for a long time. It really fucks you up. But because I'm not actually here, I can eat all the food I want. It's quite delicious, actually. I wish you could enjoy it, but I'm glad you can't because that's more for me. I can speak to spirits, by the way, and they seem to have a spiritual connection to me. Is this not something y'all just do here?
Do they have any insight about how to get out?
None that they told me.
And they're
Can
still
you
like
ask
in
them?
your hands if you want to
I'm
like,
like-
yeah.
I'm just like petting a corgi. Like, he's adorable. Aren't you the bestest boy?
If you'd like to talk to them, you have to like look them in their eyes, and then your souls will connect, and you can speak to them. Yeah.
And their beady little butt eyes.
Yeah. Do you do so?
Don't call him Beatty. His name is Benjamin.
He's like, how did you know? As like, so
It's a connection. It's a connection, fam. It's a connection.
as you kind of glance over to them, you get a momentary like you know senses of what they're sort of feeling, and also like trying to talk about. And they're essentially trying to get your attention. As they're like, oh wait, shaman, please, please, and then you like go to take another bite of your burrito at your convenience and all that. Do you look to the corgis?
For me?
Yeah.
Or was that? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sure. You pick up the corgi and the audio resumes as he goes, oh my god, thank you. As he goes, listen, you guys are in like grave danger. This is legit a cult. We were a part of it. We thought we were doing the right thing, but we started to ask questions and dissent, and then suddenly we woke up like this. And like it's only shamans who can hear it, but you got to be subtle about it, because if they realize you're a shaman, then like they're gonna and like they're gonna deal with you essentially.
So should I not be talking to you right now?
He goes, I mean, like, I need to warn you, because at these festivals, these are when these things happen. Like, everyone gets knocked out, dissenters get taken care of, and those that are worthy get essentially sacrificed to the Pink Witch. But
Sacrifice? You just hear sacrifice just come out loud.
everyone at your table stops and they look at you.
Quiet, pup.
Yeah.
Quiet.
And he goes, like, the high priest has this, like, scepter, and he's apparently able to like move throughout this realm at a whim. He knows more than he's letting on. Like I don't know if there's a way to get out of here, but if there's any way, it's using that scepter. As the rest of you can see the high priest coming over to the table one more time. Yeah, is there anything you'd like to say or do as he approaches?
Sacrifice? What kind of sacrifice? Fuck.
And then after I'm done talking to the corgi, I can put the corgi down. I'm like, just stay right there because we're gonna have to talk again soon. And then I'll start passing along the message to the rest of you. I'm like, so we got a scepter, and they're gonna sacrifice you if you eat the food. So good job on not eating the food. Y'all are great.
And then the high
I'll
priest
just steal that.
now appears essentially with a basket of conchas and is like and is
Priest, my
Yeah.
friend.
and he's like, here you go. I wanted to give this to you guys because it's like thank you again for helping us and save. Like, if you didn't fight that nightmare with us, many of my people would have died, and I couldn't bear that. We even lost one, and it just was terrible. So we want to give you these as a thank you. He's like, oh, these are wonderful corgis. As like he goes to pet both of them. And as he sort of does so, you
Swat
feel
his hand away immediately. Don't touch things that aren't yours.
go to do agility and then nimble, or fight, whichever you want to.
I mean, it's funny you say die, but you don't really die here. Like, now I'm confused. You're saying you're immortal?
38.
I just start to like mull it over my head and like kind of like writing in the air.
So with a 38, you save one of the corgis. So you like smack his hand away from one of them. The other one, though, Casimir can feel the connection between that corgi like sever as it's just gone. But there still is one corgi. Maybe you grab that corgi or you slap the hand out of the way, whichever you want to do. And the high priest
Oh
is
no,
unable.
I'm physically assaulting this man. I slap his hand out of the way.
Okay. He goes, I am
Just
so
because you're a high priestess to all of these people or priest or whatever, sorry, does not mean you have authority over us.
He goes, you are 100% right. I am so sorry about that. And he goes, here, have a concha, as he like gives it to you. And then he goes like, all right, everyone, as he yells to the crowd. And he goes, we're going to be getting.
Wait, is Fumi back yet?
We'll say at this exact moment, yeah, she appears. Fox form or normal form?
Let's go.
Oh, they're incredible. There's
I would still be a fox right now. Yeah.
Sylvie Fox. Okay, you appear on the bench right next to your companions. You see the corgis that are there, and
I perch on Fenn's shoulder.
and then
I take the concha and look him in the eye as I throw it over my shoulder. Yes.
Casimir
please.
catches it.
Please
It's a
continue
waste of
with
food.
your-
So
Eat.
the high priest goes, all right, everyone,
Oh, I love it.
we're going to go ahead and start our ritual and our festivities. We have 3 brave, wonderful souls who have, served the Pink Witch and our order many, many times before. And let's all give them a round of applause and everything as these 3 come out in their full regalia, still worried about what they saw in the tent, but they end up coming out and it's just a round of applause. The townspeople, as well as yourselves, seem kind of skeptical, but ultimately clap as you see the townspeople are just devouring all this sort of food as they're just loving every minute of it. And he goes Gort?
As this is all happening, and I think we get the information about the scepter and everything, Fen leans over to Casimir and kind of hands the spear back to him. Now, Pup, are you actually
Oh,
good
thanks.
with
I
this
almost
weapon?
forgot about that. You sure
Can
you
you
don't
actually
need
use
this?
it?
Because if you need it,
Let me talk to you first. Can you actually throw this thing?
yeah, of course, absolutely.
Well, aim for that priest's hands. Right at the top of the ritual before they can sacrifice anyone else's souls. Don Francisco is a necromancer and can tell you when it's about to happen. You understand?
Yes, Graham.
Knock the scepter out of his hands. Kind of pats you on the shoulder and leans over to Don Francisco and goes, "Nah, I don't think we can let these souls fly out of these poor people's bodies now, can we?"
Of course not.
I pick up the other corgi and was like, so when I throw this spear at this guy's hand, we're totally gonna be fucked, aren't we?
He goes oh my god, Benjamin died! As he's yelling in his corgi body. And,
Benji's fine. Don't worry. We'll
You-
fix him.
yeah, you look over to Benjamin, there's nothing there. Vacant. Unknown
It's
number.
just a corgi.
Delete- yeah.
I literally hate that. Oh no.
Can I
So
do any necro stuff to bring Benji back?
you cannot. Yeah. I mean, you can manipulate souls. So if you want to take, okay, I will give you this. If you wanted to take the soul that's in this corgi and put it into something else, you can do that as a necromancer. But yeah. But you can't really talk with it or anything. You just manipulate it. Whereas Casimir can't control spirits. He can simply communicate with them and all
I
that.
can talk to him.
Should I just put it in this concha? I wanna get-
No,
Googly
not
eyes.
that. Then I'll be eating souls by accident. Stop it.
He's is that what gives them their flavor? Is
Mm.
So, anything else before the high priest continues?
Shall I?
I'm just nervously bouncing the spear between my hands,
Shall I sneak on the other side just so that we have cover just in case?
Please.
All right. I will stealth sort of on the other side.
Okay, go ahead and do. Actually, there's so much everyone's focused on the high priest that they don't even mind you, so you can bypass
Yeah.
that stealth roll. Yeah,
Just little fox.
and you make your way on the other side, and yeah, so the high priest continues as he goes we all are here on as the sons of midnight. Do whatever we can to thank our deity, the Pink Witch, for giving us so much power and plentiful, bounty and everything. There's nothing that you can be denied here. You can, try every whim that you'd like to here, whether it be, the limits of, arcane sort of, with demonology, necromancy, chronomancy, all of you can try here in a safe space, and no one's here to stop you. And they go, even though we do have Emerald Templars in our presence, they can't do what much to you because they are just a mere force. As he goes like, they're great, and hopefully they choose to join our order. There are other Templars who have joined our order in the past. As like two of them are like, yo, as you scratch your beard, yeah. And then so
I'm kind of looking around at all of us as they say, yeah, the Emerald Templars are great. And I'm like, criminals, like fucking people who are too old to do anything else. And they're kind of just like, well, fuck it. And I'm like looking at our ragtag group and I'm like, that's how I know this motherfucker's lying.
And the opposite has happened with Casimir. When they're like, the Emerald Templars are great, Casimir's like,
yeah. 2 burritos in hand as
the son of a rich family, like, Emerald Templars, they get respect. Sounds fun.
we are phenomenal. We're fantastic.
Right.
Everyone wishes they could be like me.
Me looking at the cutthroat standing behind the priest. Like,
yeah. Dun-dun. So he gathers everyone like forward, and you see that there is a ritual circle that's like in front of the tables and everything. He was like, please, everyone, now that you've eaten, take a moment to gather up, and we're gonna join hands in a circle like around these 3 wonderful beings whose names I have. Yari and Jacine and Marith are all gonna be like ascending to archbishophood. I know something that I wish I could do, but I am here to simply serve as a shepherd to the flock. As everyone like claps again, and they're super excited for everyone, and they begin to get up and gather in this sort of circle. As you see them join hands, the ritual circle begins to illuminate in like power and and light and everything. Do you guys want to join the circle, or do you guys want to do anything else?
I'm waiting to give the signal to Casimir to throw the spear.
I'm
waiting
in,
for
I'm in
someone.
the shadows.
If someone looks at Casimir and asks him about this, he's like, I don't think I'm ready for this sort of commitment yet. I'm still exploring my options in life. I am. My dad says something about sowing oats or something like that, and I'm still trying to do that before I decide that I'm going to commit to not a cult.
As around, you see that there's some people that are like, there's an actual information booth about like the Sons of Midnight. I'm like, yeah, we take care of you in all ways. You get like
I pick up
401k,
all the
you get
pamphlets.
like,
I'm like flipping through them.
They're like, oh well, they have a dog park. It's like,
See, Benji will be absolutely fine. I told you.
and this pigment soul just like, yeah. Okay. So, as the tension rises, as you realize the moment that you need to strike is coming up very, very soon, as Fumi's in place and all of you are there, you have the spear in hand, maybe your palms are sweaty as
I'm spaghetti.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, as you nervous eat.
It's coming. I knew it.
This is where we're going to go ahead and take a short break. That way, we can all just use the restroom, get snacks and whatever. So please bear with us for this small little bit. And we'll be back soon with more Emerald Templars.
oh.
Perfect. Hey, everyone.
Zeus is definitely circumcised.
You waited. You waited.
I know, you waited for that.
You were like,
That's
I know
amazing.
exactly what I'm going to say when we go live.
Oh, my God. Actually, I need
You'll
to
cut
fix
out
the
and say,
camera.
what?
That's fine. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to... No, you're fine. You're good. You're good. To Emerald Templars. I appreciate my cast. They're amazing in every single way. And yeah, so we're going to get right back to it. You guys are standing here before this ritual as everyone's gathered here and are watching these 3 people stand in very specific spots as you see the high priest pull out like a grimoire from his pouch essentially and open it up, And then he also, in his other hand, has his scepter of like power, and you see it begin to illuminate in pink light as he's like beginning to chant in a language that you don't quite understand. As it begins to now. I will say for Zora and Casimir, you guys can recognize that this is like sort of witch talk as they are casting words of power and everything. Casimir being an occultist that specifically studied this, and then also Zora, who is like an actual witch that is like, this sounds familiar. And it begins to occur as the grimoire itself, the words on it begin to illuminate, and the scepter of power begins to do it. And he goes like, "Now behold might," as like these three will ascend, and let me know when you want to attack.
Yeah, I start ribbing Casimir like, now, no, do it now, do it now.
Oh, before you even have gotten that all the way out of the hand, like as soon as I see this scepter start to glow, I'm not even waiting. I'm just yeeting the spear straight at this scepter hand.
Okay, go ahead and roll your d10, and then go ahead and roll your or you're gonna use agility and then fight for this one.
Agility and fight. So that is plus 4%. So that is 74.
74, you do hit. So it flies through the air, and you see this like satyr hand that's holding the scepter. It seems like kind of loosely a little bit, as it doesn't expect to be attacked. And then, sure enough, you hit it square in the sort of the hand, the palm, or the back of the hand rather. And it does cause him to drop the scepter as it loses its illumination, and the grimoire, stops and everything. Oops, sorry, Siri. And the whole everyone gasps in horror as the priest looks back, as they're like, they hurt the high priest, as the high priest looks and goes like you would dare defile our event after we give you food and shelter?
Put the pink on a pedestal. And by pink, I mean witches. Pink witches on the pedestal.
And the high priest looks extremely just frustrated with this, and he goes, you know what? We will have a new ritual tonight, and it'll be a blood sacrifice. As he goes, archbishops, please demonstrate your power along with me to show out these rebel rousers. As everyone is terrified as they immediately flee, as they apparently fear these three who are going to ascend to archbishophood. And I need you all to roll initiative, which is going to be your agility and your nimble.
Symbol. 76.
76, okay.
42.
42.
I actually added awareness this time. I rolled an 8, so 94.
94, and then Fen?
102.
Nice.
Snap! Grand coming at us.
And then Zora?
76.
76. Okay, perfect. And then the bad guys. Oof.
Bad guys.
All right. So first one up is going to be the 102, Fen.
Fen,
So-
as soon as... Oh, go ahead.
There are 4 creatures here. 3 of them are the archbishops that we're going to ascend that whip out, some melee weapons. The other ones seem to be magical. And then you see the high priest who's reaching down to get up his scepter. Yeah.
Fen is... I think they were sitting at the table observing all of this nonsense, just bone tired with this world, this... What is this? This is not even living. This is not even close to pretending to live. Why would anyone want to live forever in a false world? Living in a real world is already hard enough. Why this? Why forever? And I think they just kind of as Casimir throws the spear and the high priest is starting to give this speech, they just kind of very slowly push back from their chair, stand up, put one foot up on the table, their back cracks a little, and they go, ugh, really getting too old for this. And then they jump off the table and they sprint and slide on their shawl that they wear. They use it almost as a gliding pad, and they go to grab the scepter before the high priest can grab it.
Sure. So you're going to do your agility and then nimble for trying to swipe this. Go for it. And if you have any criminal or anything like that that you feel would help with like any of that, oh yeah, feel free to add that.
I do have some criminals, so that I think is an 88
Okay.
total.
With an 88, that's a critical success. So you have narrative control as you have the scepter in your hands. It's losing illumination, but it does regain it as you pick it up. And then the high priestess goes like, "You don't know what you're doing with that. Wait!" As he like is just looks extremely distressed. And yeah.
You're right. I absolutely do not. And then they like if he was leaning down to grab it, they have it and they break it over the top of his head.
Okay, so okay, so you use your movement action to get there, your primary action to swipe it. So you do have a secondary action. Do you want to do anything with that secondary action?
Not this time around. I'll save breaking it for the next round, I suppose.
Okay, but you do have the scepter power in your hands, so it is away from your enemy. After that, it's going to go to the 94, which is Casimir.
Yeah. So, being that Casimir doesn't have another spear to throw, because he just chucked it, gonna go straight into spellcasting. And I am going to, I'm gonna go with, Hexbolt. Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm within the 30 feet range.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, cool.
And there are four
what
targets here. The High Priest and the 3 bishops, whichever you want to attack.
I'm gonna just keep going after this high priest because I've already landed a hit on the high priest, so I'm feeling I'm like feeling myself right now.
Yeah.
And if I take out this high priest, I feel like I'm the new high priest now. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the high priest now. That is so. What do I roll this with? That is.
For it is going to be your will and then your focus.
Cool. So that is 64.
Okay. You do crit, so do double damage.
Excellent. So, Hexbolt, you manifest bad fortune into a projectile launched toward a creature of your choice. The attack pad passes cover, causes 2 turns of Hex, and deals 1d6 damage. Some crit means 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
4 and a 6, so that's 10.
10? Okay. So, there we go. You use your shamanic power to call upon the spirits with a malicious intent to like just ruin everything they're doing as they try to take a step towards Fen and begin to trip over their own robe, and like they try to swipe, but they just hit themselves on like the corner of a table and everything as they are now hexed, and it's harder for them to do anything. And you see also that they're in pain, like physical pain. Now you do have your movement and your secondary. Do you want to move or do you want to attack again or anything?
I'm going to move in closer, and with my secondary, can I shift into my
Feral form?
Feral form?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As you and for Fumi, because you're a Fulgani as well, right? Or no, you're a Kitsune, right? Yeah, you're Kitsune. That's right. Yeah. So Fen, one of the new rules that I put in there is that you can shift to your feral form whenever you'd like to. You don't have to wait for it to be your anger. You do take exhaustion, but yeah, you can do it. So you turn into your feral form as your claws grow thicker and longer. Your hair grows more, and which is still purple. And your fangs grow larger and all that, and yeah, you're in your feral form. Your allies, except for other Volganis, do gain 1d4 of anxiety as they see this 1 anxiety point. And then, so...
I'm only a little bit terrifying. Don't worry. I'm the bestest boy.
And then...
unless you get on my bad side.
After that, it's going to go to... let me see here. The 76s. So that's Zora and Don Francisco, right?
Zora could go first.
Okay. Zora?
Seeing that Casimir has transformed into that form, I think that Zora will... oops, that's the wrong... Zora's going to use Soulfire one last time as she runs up towards the priest.
Mm-hmm.
So I will do that first. Ooh, that's going to be 98 or 106.
You do hit, so you crit, so do double damage, and let me get that Chaos Magic table up. And we'll do your effect first, so go ahead and roll your damage.
Is it 2d6 because undead?
Correct. Yeah. Oh, you're
non-mortal,
right. It's
sorry.
non-mortal. Yeah. So that's 2. God, these filters. Go for it.
Oh, in the box. Oh, so that's 3.
3. Okay. Damage
And
is
then-
damage. Mhm.
I will do. I will shapeshift into my fox form.
Perfect. You do so. So we'll say before you shapeshift, your chaos magic activates as you pump so much power into this ability that it does cause something to happen. So go ahead and roll your, a D100 essentially, so 2D10s, and choose one as a 10th and one as the single digit.
86.
86? Okay, so with an 86, you feel the overwhelming urge to cause harm. Consume the life force of another creature by dealing 1d10 physical stress.
Ooh.
And heal for... okay, so
So is
You
this
have a
like
choice.
a new chaos magic table?
yeah. So, what happens in this situation is that you feel an overwhelming urge to cause harm, as you know that from this chaos magic, you could literally kill someone of your choice. If you do so, it'll completely wipe them out, but it will heal you for all of your stress across the board.
Sorry, I'm not hearing a negative here. Please go on.
You're just like, High Priest?
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you choose to kill the High Priest. As he looks at you, he goes like, "Please, I beg of you, my life. I have information I can tell you." And then, I'll let you have narrative control. What do you look like in this time as your power overwhelming?
So my power overwhelms me as I am like taking a running jump from like 40 feet back in my attempt to shapeshift. And as my ears lengthen and my claws lengthen, I kind of open my mouth very wide, and it's just a sucking of the essence of this person into myself as I transform into my fox form.
Perfect. You do so, and as you all see the High Priest just like die at that moment, as everyone gasps as their leader has just passed away, and you heal for all of your stress. It goes. Yeah.
Kill
As-
still
I
mother.
instantly transform back, and I'm like, oh shit, oops.
So, after you, it's gonna go to Don Francisco.
Is combat still happening, or are the other priestesses like shook from this? And
Yeah, they're still snapping their fingers and coming to you with switchblades. Yeah.
switchblades coming at me. Okay, I'm gonna use that's defense. All right, I'm gonna do something similar to what Zora did. I'm gonna use Curse of Decay.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna pour all my knowledge of necromancy into a single spell meant to cause mass necrosis into another living creature. A living creature you target is granted an infected condition for 6 turns at double the condition damage. So I will choose like one of the other people and just go for that. So roll my...
Correct. You're going to do your intellect or intelligence and then your focus. And also, we just got a $75 donation. So,
What?
yeah.
Oh,
Thank you so
fuck.
much to Pizza Yeti for summoning an old god.
For who?
So,
To whom?
Wait, we
A
have an
what?
old god?
For having a what?
summoning an old god. I don't know if they meant to do that, but that's what their donation will get them. Otherwise, they can choose to...
Are we fighting said old god?
I mean, is the witch the old god?
I ain't sign up for this shit.
I will tell you right now, you will not be able to survive if you fought an old god.
Okay.
Is
but-
the old god on our side?
An old guy.
Yeah, an old guy. Yeah, it's like I'm Father Onion. So,
Is it
Fenn's
Fenn's?
ex-husband.
It's just
Yeah.
one of Fenn's exes. It's okay. I heard
Oh,
you
God.
mention like the Iron Lions earlier.
Yeah.
Let's lean into that. Yeah.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Okay. So while I look for that, go ahead and do your damage.
In focus, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
And-
that is 54.
50. You do hit. So go ahead and do damage.
I didn't see how much damage this would be. I guess it's a D6.
Yeah.
Curse
What
of
is
Decay.
Curse of Decay? Let me go ahead and check. Curse of Decay. There we go. You pull up your knowledge, blah, blah, blah. A living target is granted the infected condition for 6 turns, and you double. Yeah. So no damage on this turn, but every turn they're going to get 2d6 damage, essentially. For
Okay.
that. Maybe it's 2d8 or 2d4 rather. But
2d4.
yeah.
Problem.
So make sure to take your lucidity cost, and then okay, let me go back to that list. So.
Ooh, let's see.
Before we go any further, we're gonna go ahead and see which one of these bad boys comes into this situation.
Wait a minute, is there a chart?
Yeah, there are the old gods, which are, let me see,
Could it be Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift, right? Where is the the realms? That's right. Sorry, let me go ahead and get this really quick. And perfect. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4,
Bend your dick.
5.
Come on, Erdebat.
So
Better to come biatch.
okay, so if one of you would like to, let me actually check chat just in case they're like, I don't want to do that.
I think they're fully
There's
committed.
a little chaos. Oh yeah, they're fully committed. Okay. So we'll have our guests roll. So could you please roll a 1d10 and then let me
Oh
know
my
what you get.
god. It'll be fine.
I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1? Okay.
The
So-
weakest one, right?
Yeah. It's a baby. It's a baby old god.
Yeah, right?
Baby,
Uh,
got do.
Okay, cool. So this actually is like,
Maybe this too.
yeah, this is thematic. So that's perfect. So you have activated Belladonna, which is the old god that is imprisoned within the dream realm, this realm that you guys are sort of in. So at this moment, for everyone sort of here, you watch as everything around you turns into this kind of swirling pinkish, purple, black. The sky turns this way. The flowers, everything becomes like more psychedelic. As you suddenly see that there is a like 9-foot woman with pink long hair in a normal like sort of dress that is standing near you guys, and everyone quiets as this like religious organization stands there stunned as they get to their knees. Now you guys recognize that you've seen pictures and books about this, you've seen religious artifacts sort of about this, and this is an old god of immense power that helped to create the new gods that everyone worships and has all this sort of stuff. And they stand in your presence, and she asked in a booming sort of that's very sweet and very alluring and all that kind of stuff, and asks what is going on here? Like, this isn't in worship to me, as she kind of gestures to the pink witch, and she seems a bit agitated. Now the high priest is dead and gone, so the people that are here are kind of like and who would like to answer this sort of question?
All of these people that you see here have been duped into following a false god and have been sucked into this dream world that is not of your own making. And the pink witch, one of the last remaining pink witches, is the one to blame. We are here trying to free them for the yoke of tyranny of this false god.
Perfect. Go
You
ahead.
see Casimir elbow Finn. Like, so wait,
Yeah,
this is the pink witch.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was like, I would
And
put
they,
that.
Oh, you know this is
Head a little bit,
I think
the
that would
scepter just a
definitely be
little
the
bit.
pedestal.
Yeah, I think you, Fumi, and Zora would absolutely know that this is like an old god, essentially. So, um,
Like, my
Is
eyes are
she
like this
familiar?
big and like.
yeah, absolutely. You know that she's like people have talked about meeting her, and it's been like super amazing or horrifying and
Like, did
terrible.
we see her the last time Janine and I were on?
No, no, yeah,
Oh, okay. It was a different.
yeah,
It was a succubus lady that I'm thinking
yeah,
of.
yeah, exactly, the succubus. Yeah. So, Zora, go ahead and roll your influence and charm
And
to talk to.
influencer for my trade
Yep,
skill.
that is correct. Yeah.
Perfect. 44.
44. That's good enough. So you don't crit, but you do speak, to them with confidence, and you explain the situation as there's enough context clues to support your sort of argument. As the bishops are scrambling to say anything, and some of them even get to their hands and knees and pray, and like the pink witch cannot be compared to the old god, Belladonna. We believe in the pink witch even in this moment as they kind of like pray, and she looks.
Shut up.
And she looks to them and goes, "This is ridiculous. Like, I did not create this sort of pink witch. I remember these witches that were like insignificant mortals with a modicum of power that could not even contain the gifts that I brought onto this realm. So I am done with this." As she kind of waves her hands, and everyone who's wearing the pink robes dies immediately as they just like completely just.
So all of our townspeople have been stripped of their fucking pink robes before we got here because fucking Don Francisco and I were like, what are you doing? Take that off.
Well, we'll say yeah. There is like one person who's like, "I think it's fashionable and it's great," and then you just see him like,
Guys, it's okay.
I like
Yeah.
the breath that leaves Zora is just like.
So, oh yeah, sorry, I should have done that too. You guys gain 8 points of anxiety as you're in the presence
that's
of
fair.
true power, and at this moment,
What happens when you're at halfway?
for anxiety, I believe is your.
I'm not quite there yet. I just.
Okay. When you reach 50% of any stress, that's when you get a positive thing and a negative thing. So, for stress, let me go ahead and.
Just out of curiosity, because
Just in case.
Your agility increases by 10% as you are ready to flee when needed. However, focus bonus is halved due to inability to concentrate clearly.
Love it.
So, in this time, you watch as all of these people, as this 70 people have died before your eyes. And she looks to you guys and like leans in closer as she even uses a like very manicured like fingernail to hot as as she like clicks onto, we're gonna say Zora because you're the one that spoke, your sigil of the Emerald Templars, and she goes, "I recognize this sigil. You're the ones who like hunt witches and regulate." Don Francisco, do you want to do anything? No? Okay. So she taps on it as she leans over to you and goes like, "I recognize this symbol." And even if she taps on you, you feel your body like vibrate with like power that you're not supposed to ever experience. And so she goes to you and goes like, "I recognize this symbol, and you guys are champions of your people, I believe it is. Well, you will now be my champions in this endeavor to slay this witch. And you will go forward and continue this mission. Do so, and I will grant you my blessing." As she looks back at the regular townspeople, and she goes like, "These people are not like warriors." As she snaps her fingers, and they all return. Essentially, you assume to reality, as the death of the 70 and the disappearance of these other ones seems drastically different. So you assume that they've gone back safely to their bodies and everything, but leaves you 5. And even looks to you, Casimir, and goes like you are not fully here. Would you like to be here, or would you like to go back? Because any longer, and you're gonna go back or whatever. As she,
So I can actually get back now.
She goes, if you wish.
Mistress, use my spirit as you will until I have to return to my body. I am absolutely willing.
Perfect.
My body is ready.
My body is ready. So, Yeah, snoo snoo. She considers it and she goes like, and you see her body begin to flicker, and she goes, "My power is waning. You know, my imprisonment is coming back to bring me back. But I will send you back because you represent these champions and you've helped them in this endeavor." And she, if you consent, gives you a kiss. And it rocks you through your body. Do you consent? First off, okay. You're like, no. So you're like, yeah.
Enthusiastically.
Yeah. So you do accept as you feel your body again like vibrate and pulsate as you're gone from the everyone else, and you return to your body in the temple, the Emerald Temple, as everyone's like, hey, he pissed himself. As like, like, are we gonna do something about this? As and yeah.
So much worse could have happened than pissing myself. I promise.
And sure enough, in this dream realm, you guys are still with Belladonna, this old god, who was only summoned, and this was not in the story until you donated the $75, but with you guys, and goes like, I can't give you the power to send you fully to where the Pink Witch is, but I can send you at least close to it. So I will, give you this last gift before I have to leave, as her voice even begins to wane and her power begins to wane. And one by one, if you all consent, she plants a kiss. And you you see, yeah, there you go. So you see that you guys all begin to disappear one by one, and you appear in a new sort of place, another settlement, just like the one that this like cult was in and everything. But it seems to be ran by some other individuals that you don't quite like recognize, or maybe you actually do, as they all have these tattoos of these iron lions and all that. So with that, we are gonna go ahead and unexpectedly, that's how this session sort of ends. Actually, she begins to disappear. Is there anything you'd like to say or do before she goes?
I love you.
And I miss you like the deserts miss the rains.
We're just like singing.
Yeah. You're like, Chrissy, I don't want to wake up. I was like, I don't. Yeah. So, you guys end up, transporting to this new area. You witness the power of an old god. You're not sure the next time you're going to, if you're ever, even in your lifetime, see a being as powerful as this. But sure enough, you arrive in this area, and Belladonna is, gone before you. And the world kind of returns back to how it was, with the clear blue skies and the plants that look like, normal or whatever. And these people kind of like surround you, and they are very surprised of your appearance, especially that you're an Emerald Templar here. And,
Fumi gets like, I think she realizes the Iron Lions symbols and is like, oh no, and then just like hides under like Zora's dress.
I think Fen surprisingly does almost exactly the same thing, except they can't fit under Zora's dress, so they just step behind her.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Perfect. And then that's where we're going to actually end for this session. So thank you again to Dimples and Dice for being here and being our guest and everything. So let's go ahead and have everyone tell us, who you are, where you can be found, what you're up to next. We're going to start with our guest.
Oh, hi, I'm Prince, also known as Dimples and Dice around the internet. That is where you can find me. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz. I am a TTRPG/variety streamer. You can generally find me on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time running Wayward Revelry. It's a D&D 5e campaign based on Wild Beyond the Witchlight with my own little horror shenanigan twist to it. So if you want to get some Shadowfell in your Witchlight, come see me. I'm also the co-founder of Rolling These 20s, which is an all-BIPOC group of TTRPG actual play performers. I do a D&D 5e, or not, Vampire the Masquerade V5 game every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which includes Lonzo Gonzo, who's here with me as well. We are in our 5th and final season of this particular story arc in our Philly by Night shenanigans, but that does not mean our World of Darkness shenanigans are over. So keep an eye out for what comes next. I promise you, it will be worse. There's also a bunch of other stuff and things that I'm up to. I'm over on Waffles Maple Syrup on every other Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I am on Fables Once in Future, based in the Fables comic book by Bill Willingham, along with an excellent cast every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There's more stuff coming up. North by Northwest, which has C on it as well. There's so much stuff. Keep an eye on my Twitter for new announcements because there's going to be more stuff upcoming. I'm so excited to share a bunch of things with you. Thank you for having me. Thank you all for being wonderful to play with. I can't wait to get back at another table with y'all again.
Amazing. Perfect. And speaking of C, let us hear about you.
Oh my god. Hi everyone, my name's Sia. I use they them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at Pie Sharp Art. If you like what I did here tonight, you'll like what I do in other places. Speaking of other places, you can always find me on Saturdays at USPM. You can find me Saturdays at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time over on Transplanar RPG. We have a lot of content, so if you're interested, check us out on Twitter because I cannot tell you everything that has happened, but it is happening a lot at me. You can also find me in an upcoming unannounced Vampire the Masquerade game over on Gehenna Gaming. You can also find me on upcoming North by Northwest game. You can also find me every Monday on Exquisite Corpse playing a god who loves a fish, and also another person. But like anyway, a fish. Lots of fishing mini games in my TTRPG life right now. Don't really know what's going on there, but it's a theme. And I will pass things over to Alonzo Gonzo.
Why, thank you. See, I am Lonzo Gonzo, pronouns he, him. You can find me on Twitter at Lonzo Gonzo. You can find me on Twitch at Lonzo Gonzo_, where I'm a variety streamer, also TTRPG player, along with Dibbles and Dice over at Rolling These 20s. I play Oscar Leon Ponce, Ravnos hacker Kindred, who is way into deep on some shit. And Dibbles has let me know that all the time, constantly. You could find me doing some amazing stuff for Hispanic Heritage Month coming up. A lot of things that haven't been unannounced yet, so stay tuned on my socials. I have some upcoming projects that are coming up too, as well, that has been working in the backgrounds. Some stuff I'm really super excited for. Other than that, that's where you can find me out. I will pass it off to whoever. You two, you decide. You're both amazing, so follow.
Let's fight about it. No. Hi, I'm Janine, also known as Blips and Chits, also known as XJ9, or whatever you want to call me. You can find me on Twitter where I have all of my upcoming projects, but this upcoming Tuesday we are on episode 2 of episode 3 of 4 for our The Blood They Spill stream, which is a 70s horror film style stream in which we are hunting down some werewolves and honestly other monsters. It seems like every game something new pops up and we have to, figure out how to kill it properly. On Saturdays, you can find me over on Lore Everlasting for the Sovereign, the Arthurian 5e stream, in which we are all blessed with a touch of destiny to, I don't know, probably save Morgana from some horrible fate or the rest of the world. Come around, see what it's all about. And then regularly on Sundays, you can find me on TPC, where we are doing a seafaring portion of our pretty extended homebrew game, where we are playing young teenagers coming into adulthood as, knights who are saving our world from all of the dangers that would befall it, like giants and actually who knows what's coming next. It's been so long since we got a chance to play. I'm so excited for our next stream. And you know what? Because no one's stopping me, I'm going to put out what I want into the world. I am looking for a high seas adventure. Another one. It seems like I'm doing a lot of stuff on boats, but I really like it and I really want to keep doing it. So hit me up on Twitter. Follow me at Blips and Chits. Josephine.
I'm Josephine. I'm at Scary Dog Friend on Twitter and TikTok. God, I'm just same thing with Dimples. Just follow me on Twitter mostly. I am a performer on Starlight Tales, Roll for Luck, Going Crit RPG, as well as here. I'm going to be running Call of Cthulhu over at Going Crit RPG. The applications are still up, and you have 5 days left. I run a Not Safe for Work podcast with my friend Cleric34 called Monster Fuckers Anonymous, where we talk about dating and rating monsters. That's a ridiculous time. Our break is about to end, and we're about to start back up episodes again in October. That's it.
Perfect. This is a wonderful cast. I really appreciate you guys all being here and taking the time to play test this. I hope you guys all had fun, especially to like the viewers as well. Thank you so much for the tips and everything. All of us going to the cast. We really, really appreciate you guys. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon, and hope you guys all have a wonderful night. And yeah. And actually, before I go, let's rate a homie really quick. So let me go ahead and do that.
Right on me.
What day is it?
Sunday.
Oh, you know what? There's
Butcher
some
Day.
wisdom
Wow.
saying weekend games going on.
Yeah, isn't it a Total Party Chill?
I
Or-
believe so. I think
Okay.
so. They're doing Bardcella over there.
Yeah, let me go and do that.
Dude, Call of Cthulhu is such a
Yeah,
fun
it
and
is.
easy system to learn, especially if you have someone.
I have never
like
played.
13.
I've never
So
played.
Have
I'm
people-
responding to Candace. Go ahead and do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it,
Yeah.
Candace.
Fly.
When I told
Why?
people I was making
Why?
Emerald Templars, they were like, you should just you know use Call of Cthulhu system to do it. And I was like, oh really? I've never even tried it before. So like, it seems interesting. So pretty cool. All right.
I mean, I rolled like double digits twice, and I'm like, that's still like Delta Green, which is kind of cool. Anyway,
Yeah.
we should talk about game systems. Like,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right, everyone. We're gonna raid. Hope you guys all have a wonderful night, and see you guys later.
Bye.
Toodles.
And we are currently raiding. Let me wait till it pops up. And then, yep, there we go.
I'm
All
gonna
right, cool.
drop some donos.